I think that I am inspired from the open source software ethos and culture over time, learning how open source communities really thrive in sharing what they've done. And because my research area is computational physics, computational fluid dynamics, computational engineering, and we made a commitment early on to release all of our code in an open source model. Myself and my students who participate in all of these things that were mentioned today very eagerly have been learning more and more about the open source culture. And so what we've done with this course is the course on computational methods that we released as a MOOC was to transfer some of that same philosophy of the open source software communities into the course. So both how the course is built and how we interact with other instructors that use the material or even contribute some more material to what the content of the course includes. It very much has draws inspiration from the open source software culture. The idea that I had, and this was in early 2014, was that as faculty and perhaps even as departments or universities, we don't really have to go through a Silicon Valley startup to do online learning, to do open education. It's something that we want to build capacity in-house, and I guess because I already had some competency with open source software, this wasn't scary for me as it might be for other faculty. So we adopted the Open edX platform, so that is the same software platform that edX uses, but completely independently launched this course in a self-hosted instance of this learning software. And we simply had an Amazon AWS instance, and I hired some external technical consultants that were very much experts in Open edX, and they helped us get a self-branded, professional-looking site just for our courses. And I think this experiment caught a lot of people's attentions at the time, because everyone was thinking that to do a MOOC, you have to go through either Coursera, edX, Udacity, any of those. And we have more than 7,000 people already continuing to use the course, which is it's not a negligible amount for a self-marketed course. I mean, we did not have any of the marketing machinery of the big name MOOC platforms. So we're very happy about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we've had other faculty in other countries, in England, in Belgium, and in Chile, who have adopted the course for their own regular on-campus courses, who have interacted with us. We have a Slack channel where we talk and we have discussions about the content, and so we have created, we have a small scale but effective community where we discuss the content, and I think that what you see is a result of the input of a lot of people. Of course, my students and we did the bulk of the development of the early material of the course, but we've had contributions from other faculty to the course curriculum and content, which is something that you don't really get in a traditional course. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is that the students or learners online themselves are encouraged to open a GitHub account and put their materials there. And I have seen fantastic little projects that some learners have done and they have blogged about or posted on the link on Twitter and so on, that take the content of the course in a different avenue with their own interests, and this creates a conversation online around the contents of the course. And at a small scale, we already see this network effect. I use it in the classroom. Yeah, I have a on-campus course that I teach that uses all these materials, and it's a first-year graduate class, so at master's level. What I would like to see is some of these concepts now moved a little bit to lower grades in the undergraduate curriculum, and to start incorporating some of these ideas into STEM education, engineering, mathematics, physics, and so on, beyond the standard numerical methods curriculum into other disciplinary fields in mathematics and physics. And so we are thinking a lot about computational thinking, how computing is a tool for learning other subjects. And right now, I have an idea for developing some materials, some module, or even a community of instructors to incorporate computing in the undergraduate engineering curriculum. This is sort of a challenge that we're playing with right now. Yes. Well, for example, there are two aspects here: the open science practice in my research activity, and the open education and the concern for educational initiatives. And so in this last one, it's sometimes a little bit discouraging, because throughout any initiative that you take in education, you have senior people or mentors that tell you that you're wasting your time, you should not be doing this, you should only be focusing on research, and all of these messages that try to discourage you from working in these types of initiatives. And it's, I think a lot of people just don't spend time on these types of things because they get these messages and because it is not really rewarded. And you have to do it as a rebellious soul, I guess, against all of the better advice, all the advice that you receive. In research, there's also a reward gap, because doing computational research, which is my area, in a way that is transparent and open, sharing all of the products of your research, and refining a workflow that is open and transparent takes some time. Takes an extra investment in professional grade tools and processes that might lead to the publication taking a little longer than others, perhaps, who are rushing to publish and don't care that they don't have a transparent and reproducible workflow. And at that point, because the reward system is at the publication level and not in the process, not in the transparency, not in the quality of your of the whole chain, again, you have to do it against advice, against the grain, against the culture. I think this is changing. What we see here in this annual meeting and the award also represents some recognition, and that is very encouraging. But still, the university system and the funding avenues are not yet recognizing these types of endeavors. My students are remarkable in their commitment, and they keep me honest. And also the open source scientific Python community has a very bubbling, well, the community itself is very social, and it shares so much of what everybody's sharing, what they're doing. There are tools that are just fun to use, like Jupyter and all of the things around Jupyter, as I spoke a little bit today. The people working in these to develop these tools are just full of enthusiasm. Fortunately, there's been support from Sloan and Moore Foundation for those tools, which is fantastic. It gives you hope, and these tools are sustainable for the time being. And so there's a lot of fun there in the community, using computing and data analysis tools and visualization. It's fun.